All right, episode 12 of the DP podcast, the Dark Podcast. When you gaze into the abyss gazes back into you. And when the abyss gazes back into you, you gaze back into the abyss. All right, everything within the darkness must be shined on within the light, okay? Within this podcast as well. All right, so continuation of the sequel of manipulation, not manipulating, but manipulation, and how emotions, which you believe to be called emotions, right, in disguise, are basically using manipulation to convince you to be self-destructive, self-manipulative, self-sabotaging, self-abusive, self-victimizing, etc. Okay, so this is all going to be, it's still a part of this series once again, but this manipulation, the way that it works is that when you subscribe or you submit, basically allow these emotions, okay, which are once again the archons, principalities, apparitions, phenomenons, entities, and demons to basically harbor within you, enter you, basically convince you to believe that you are them, you are it. Actually, to be honest, what happens is they're able to manipulate you into thinking and feeling, and once again, influencing you to do things, act a certain, behave a certain way. Now you think you got an attitude, a mood. Now you think that you all, what you refer to as chaotic. Okay, so which is truly just being self-destructive. Okay, reckless. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So back to the previous episode, the reason why it's important to know about destruction magic and creation magic is because there are different forms. So destruction magic actually comes from dark and black magic because darkness forms into light. Okay, so but before it's light, it's not really able to harm you because it's in a neutral state. It's not destructive. It's not chaotic. It's none of that. That's just a distortion. Okay, that's a trick that they manipulate you into believing, so you are afraid of your own essence, which is pure darkness. Okay, in its natural state, which is completely harmless. Okay, it is not that it cannot be used to. It's just not. It's just in a natural state. It is only there to fertilize, create. Okay, so it's pure. Okay, it's not impure. Okay, but when it becomes impure, it's more so in its lighter form. So light magic and white magic is actually destruction magic because light magic burns, it shines, and when it shines too brightly, it burns something. That's when fires get caught. That's when that wind start blowing real. You know what I'm talking about? Hectic, which is chaotic, and destructive. But its opposite, which would be water and nature. Alright, that one right there, it creates, it fertilizes, it nourishes, it moisturizes. You see how that works? Okay, but light burns into the darkness. Okay, so when it burns out, it goes straight back into the darkness. But when creation magic happens, it is basically light coming from the darkness. So it's the yin yang effect, quite literally. So the depiction of yin yang is just creation and dark, creation and destruction. Simply just that. Simply just that. It ain't got nothing to do with no dark and light necessarily. It's just referring to the source of dark destruction and creation magic, which is light and dark magic. Okay. But when it's used in a baneful way, or sometimes in a way that's how you would say in a self-destructive way, or just kind of like in a poisonous way, in a toxic way, you refer to it as black magic. When it's used in a toxic way, you refer to it as white magic. You see how that works? So light magic and dark magic in itself is not harmful. Okay, the light, yes, is harmful, but it's not necessarily destructive. Actually, there you go. It's not destructive, but once it is used against you, it becomes toxic, aka destructive and pure. Okay, what you refer to as chaotic. You did. Okay, cool. All right. So the reason why this has to be illuminated within this podcast, meaning shining the light on, is because that's what these apparitions use. Apparitions is referring to anything that is what you believe to be called non-physical. So that goes for the entities, the fallen angels, the fallen deities, the fallen gods and goddesses, and demigods and demigoddesses, yada, 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 yeah? So that's what they use. And as they are disguised as what you believe to be called emotions, that's how they possess you to continue to be able to access you. So that's how they manipulate you. That's the kind of magic they're using. Okay, so that's what that magic is called. That's not the different kinds of dark magic and light magic and stuff like that. But once you know what it's called, now you know. Now you're able to basically figure out how it works. So then that way you can do something for yourself, though. See what I'm saying? So that's what the episode is basically highlighting. Just the manipulation aspect, not the manipulating. Manipulating would explain how exactly that is affecting you. I ain't going into all that. Word up. So this is the bonus part. Alright? So that might, I guess you can, you know what I'm saying, find out the truth about it for yourself. But the difference between emotions and vibrations is that the emotions is just a manipulation of your vibration. Okay? So once again, they want to use your power, your beliefs against you. But they got to get you to believe in what what is not true, doesn't exist, what isn't real, okay? A distortion, in order for them to be able to possess you, aka manipulate your vibration, your frequency, your tone, so that way you won't tune into yourself. So your tone allows you to tune into yourself. The higher the tone, the higher the pitch, the higher the heartbeat, your heart rate, the more in tune you are with yourself. That's what it's referred to when you believe what you believe to be called a very strong or activated heart chakra. That's what that is. When you tune into your awareness so deeply that you become what? Self-aware. This allows you to do what? Or be able to access what? Your manifestations. Okay, which is creation magic. Okay, which is dark magic. Which is where you create from your essence what you will. And that will is your light, your mind. Okay? And when you create from your mind for yourself, you attain or basically increase, better yet, deepen, truthfully, better yet, deepen your self-awareness. Okay, but when you ain't doing it and you tune out and your tone ain't so deep, that's why they get the reference of a high pitched tone and a deep voice and a deep tone and stuff like that, because it's referring to how in tune you are and out of tune you are. So how connected you are to yourself and how disconnected you are from yourself, because there's you can look at it, it's a spectrum. Word up. So the idea is they want you to get you on the side of the spectrum where you out of there. You ain't even in the pocket. Okay? But when you in there and you in your juice, you got all your greens, collards, and all of that, and you whipping something up sweet, you in the kitchen, yeah, alright, that's what it is. You doing your little magic. That's where that saying comes from too. You creating from your own essence. But when you're not doing it, and the best thing, what they can do is when they get you out of tune with your vessel, you dig, okay? And you don't realize what they want you to get you to, a state of confusion, which is a form of magic, so that they can possess your vessel.